who are in the college or like who are like recently passed out coming to us and asking us for entrepreneur guidance to start a career in the fashion industry. So that's when like I decided I should do something to the community, or like rather than just like providing internships. I don't think so like when a student or someone does internship for a month or so, they get to learn 100% what they're supposed to. So when after giving a lot of thought about it, that's when I decided like we should start something called something like an academy or a entrepreneurship training, which would also like bring out the talents or the real professional trainings for the students as such. So after giving a lot of thoughts to it, that's when we also expanded our verticals. Again, that's also been run by women, where we tied up with another school, which is also operated by women entrepreneurs, where we came up with something called as Design the Academy, which we started like some couple of months ago, where we have courses for boutique management, embroidery, tailoring, styling, and other courses that like widens the horizons into the fashion industry, where we ended up training students who wants to like start their career in the fashion. But apart from the college guidance or like what they learned during the college days, there is we after I passed out of college, I felt like there was a gap between the education that we get out of college and what we actually face in the day-to-day scenario, which you only get out of like actual field experience and practice. And that's when like we thought like we could incorporate all these things into a curriculum and provide that to the students, where like they will be also they will get the opportunity to like again like start their own business, or like even to again like train other students in the same field, where we broaden courses which we apply in day-to-day scenario to each of our clients. Say for example, even when it's like pattern making or like tailoring as such, apart from like what I learned from my college books, there were like certain techniques which we have to like follow for a particular body type, or like certain formulas which we derived after we gained a lot of experience and trial and errors. So we uh, accumulated all these things into a curriculum, and we started giving it to the students where like they could make use of it. So these were the certain horizons where, as a company as such, we've started doing. And again, taking forward from here, we have a lot of expansion plans apart from two branches, where we have plans to like expand across the globe, where we will be like employing a lot more and more of women entrepreneurs. As I said, like we have a lot of uh, women-led branches in our stores as such. So I personally feel like even if, when it comes to like handling our global network as such, my women staffs are like performing much better, even though they face a lot of challenges, and they have like a lot of family responsibilities. The performance seems to be a lot more, uh, and they are like trying and working hard to compete and to like match with the male gender as such. So I would also like to have this session a lot more interactive, where like if you have certain questions or like doubts with regards to my career, or like with regards to like how we handle business as such, you students can like come up with questions where I would be really happy and glad to answer you all.
Thank you very much, Ms. Jivita, for opening up such session. Hope I'm audible.
Yeah, ma'am. Thank you.
Yeah. To start with, I have a very simple question. Probably my students would follow me. Foremost, thank you very much for accepting my invitation,
Yes,
making this session an afternoon session very useful for us. In general, you told us like in the recent past, there are so many women coming up as entrepreneurs. You having from your family background 4 decades of experience, which area you think women entrepreneurs are, or which area where women have not given their footprint? Is there broader scope of few domains where women can really do much better and still they have opened up in that particular arena?
I feel like when it comes to the in my career as such, or in my field as such, as I said, the when it comes to like the film industry, there are like a lot of women shining up over there, but still like they face quite a lot of challenges in like trying to get their 100%. So that would be another point. And again, like when it comes to marketing fields as such, like the marketing companies, and I feel like most of the marketing companies, or like even when it comes to like wedding event organizers, organizing companies, I feel like it's majorly led by male. Even in fact, I had a plan of like I wanted to like start a event management company. The moment I said that, my family members were like, do you think a woman can really work hard or like shine in a industry that has like erratic timings? So in my industry, or like industry that circulates around my field, I feel like these are the sectors where like women can really get into and try to set their footprint.
Thank you. Guys, if you have any questions, please, forum is open. Meanwhile, can you let us know something about the legal support what the government extends these recent past days after COVID that enables women to come up with new businesses?
So after COVID, or like even before COVID, there are like lots of schemes, like the Mudra Yojana, like Stand Up India scheme. There are a lot of like uh, startup India initiatives where like they identify women-led business, or like there are like other schemes like Annapurna scheme where if a woman wants to like enter into a catering industry or like food industry, uh, they provide loans to women to establish and start food-based and there is also something called as Shri Shakti package for women entrepreneurs. So under this, they can avail loan at a conditional rate, um, and it is also like a collateral-free loan. But though there are like lots of but again, like if we approach and look into the practicality of it, then we will know the real issues that we face in getting things done. And there's also another private sector that's called as NSDC. So they also like identify um, women entrepreneurs, or like business ideas where they, if they're like really happy with the proposal as such, they do extend their loans, and also they do offer like other courses as such where they try to give education training, or like the professional trainings women generally needs.
You have a lot of female designers in your concern.
Yes, ma'am.
You find them equally competitive?
Yes, in fact, like all my designers are actually female.
Okay. No, you have people, probably young girls who are just stepped out of college.
So mostly like we So when I started my store, there were like few candidates who were like just pass outs. But in today's scenario, if you take my company as such, we only hire like experienced candidates. So we have designers who have like 10 years of experience, who have like 5 years of experience. So minimum it starts from 5 years plus.
Oh, okay. Any doubts?
Ma'am, I have a question, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
What advice would you give to young women who aspire to become entrepreneurs but might be discouraged by the challenges they perceive in the entrepreneurial world?
Well, the first thing I would say is whatever field that they are like trying to focus on, it's better that they go and work in that particular industry for at least minimum of 2 years. In today's scenario, one thing that I generally see is that these young kids they don't have the patience at all. So the moment they enter into an industry or any industry for that matter, in 1 month of time they feel like they've known the industry in and out, but that's not the actual scenario. Even when it comes to our field as such, it takes minimum of 1 to 2 years for them to understand one complete cycle. So whatever field that they would like to like enter into, it's better they gain the utmost knowledge before they go and end up losing their money. It's always better to get paid and gain the knowledge and then rather than like investing your money and burning your pockets.
Fine, ma'am. Students, you can put your question in the chat box too. Yeah, I have a question also.
Few questions here. One, Kritika Devi. Are there any examples of successful women-led startups or businesses that have thrived in a male-dominated industry? What lessons can we learn from their journeys?
We can't like really categorize it that way where like a male has failed and a woman has succeeded, because like in any industry for that scenario we have both male and women failing as well as like succeeding. It only depends on the vision that they have and the way they look at the business or the vision they have for the business as such. One strong point that I would say to like have a long-term career growth would be like consistency. So whatever you do, it is always good to. Or one thing that I generally follow is like being consistent always, no matter what the situation needs. Even if it's a small step, maybe step by step, it will take us to a greater place.
And there's another question by Sandhya in the chat box.
Can you share any personal experience or observations that highlights the challenges? So as I said earlier, one thing that I've personally felt is like people tend to play with your emotions a lot. The moment they see a woman being in the front end, they try to trick and get things done at a better or a cheaper cost, or like when there's an issue, they try to get an upper hand. So one thing that I follow and which I always say my staffs as well is like the mental stability is like really important, and as long as like we know what we are doing and we are good at it, it is better we stand for what we do. So even when it comes to my company as such, we have a set of principles that that I and my company has been instructed to follow on a daily basis. So just because when there's some issue or like when someone is trying to play with your emotions, it doesn't mean like you have to like void the principles. So one strong point will be like the emotion and also your physical ability. Men are in any given day stronger than women. So when it comes to like getting into the ground and like getting the job done, we have our own physical weakness. So these two will be the prime factors as such, leaving apart our other education and other backgrounds. And other common thing will be like when it comes to that is like for women post marriage, it will be the family and the work life balance.
How do you describe yourself as an administrator in your concern? Very strict, very lenient?
I'm not a strict person nor a lenient person. I'm not someone who like gets on my head and gets hyper as well. But I have a rapport with my staffs in such a way like they understand even without me saying what I want. And and as I said, women are like really good with like maintaining a rapport with the fellow workers. And one such incident would be like as I said, the maternity break as such. My team as such was like so cooperative. Without them, I would have like I should have been pushed to a scenario where I should have shut my business. But they were like so cooperative enough to like understand and get things done in my absence. That it was like almost some 7 8 months where I didn't um, go to my office physically, but still like I got things work done over calls and I mean over phone and video calls. So yeah, I wouldn't say I call myself as a very strict officer here.
Guys, any question from your side?
There is one question from Praveen Raj. How do gender impact the funding opportunities available to women entrepreneurs?
Hmm. But in today's scenario, I feel like women are given a much better opportunity to like get the funds. As I told you about a lot of the government schemes that are like specially made for women as such. In that case, they do have an upper hand. But again, like to go reach them out and get the job done will be the only challenge. Apart from that, in today's changing scenario, I would definitely say there is an improvement, but we cannot say like this is the end. But there are like a lot of scopes for the improvement which needs to be done. Uh, but yeah, the scenario is changing where like government is also taking a lot of initiatives to like encourage a lot more of women entrepreneurs, and that's the reason we get to see so many new schemes which has been like popping out in the current situation. So with government schemes, that would be the situation. But again, when it comes to like micro and small finances, obviously they do like support a lot of women entrepreneurs. And there are like a lot of microfinances which focuses only on women entrepreneurs as such. But apart from that, the other private sectors, I don't think so. There is like any gender variations. As long as like you're good at your job, I feel like anybody who is going to like fund you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Ma'am, one from my end.
Mhm.
Comparing your domain, that is fashion technology and garments, boutiques. Apart from this, there are so many other fields where, as you said, women have started off.
Mhm.
But comparing the prevailing condition, like post-COVID, after demonetization, after implementation of GST, there are so many industries that has become meager.
Yeah.
So in such condition, where you can find the rate of products have skyrocketed these days. I'm talking about the period post-COVID.
Yeah.
In such case, this scenario, this prevalent condition, is it good, welcoming for young entrepreneurs to come up, or do they have to wait for still more days for the economy to take a breath?
I feel like I don't think so. The situation is still the same post-COVID. In today's scenario, I feel like post-COVID, the business as such are like performing much better. And with regards to the certain price hikes that we generally see, even in our case, like there was a case where the government implemented a hike in GST on the yarns, and during that time, all the raw materials went up in the price. But post which they called it off. But still, what we face is like the prices have still not brought down. I don't think so. This is anything to do with the government, though they call it off. But this was a chance for the fellow industry people to hike the price, which they were not able to do for the past 2 3 years during the COVID time. So when we look at that particular graph, whatever has to rise year on year is what has reached right now. And looking at a broader spectrum as such, today I feel like every business is performing better after COVID. And if at all someone wants to get into the business as such, I feel like now the situation is really welcoming.
Ma'am, would you mind answering 2 questions on chat?
Could you share an example of an abnormal situation that had a significant impact on your business career? Did you navigate through the challenges and what lessons did you learn from this experience? All right, for Kritika Devi, I would say three major issues that I faced was one was the Chennai flood, um, during which I remember my Adia store is actually a basement store. So and that was during the peak bridal season. And I still remember the night when I left out of the store. I was hoping the store will not be completely drowned. So that particular night we had to shift the complete store in that peak rain to some other spot to secure the fabrics. And also we still had the deadlines. Again, as I said, it was a bridal season, so we had brides who got married in another 1 or 2 days. So I still remember getting the whole stuff shifted to another space, and then organizing or making arrangements for my team to get back to the place, and we try to deliver it on the due date whatever we mentioned. So that was one major situation that we faced. But luckily I didn't have major loss, because we predicted what's going to happen, and we vacated the store completely as such. But yeah, when it comes to the financial part of it, there was a lag in the business for the couple of months, but still it wasn't that bad as such. Another major setback was the demonetization. So that had a huge impact on our business. But again, for any business as such, I would feel the financial or the fund planning will be really essential. If it's going to be one financial year, it's always we segregate certain amount for each of the sectors, say it for marketing, or for marketing or branding, or for the development part as such. The same way we should also have a certain um, security funding, which will help us during the unpredicted scenarios as such. And another situation was the COVID. So during COVID, what we did was we were still in operation, but just that we had to anyways employ our staffs. So that was one situation where I didn't like fire any of my staffs. So it was like 100% employment when it came to my company as such, because like after all, like they trust us and they work so much for us. So I feel like I felt like, that shouldn't be a point where we let them down. So we gave them orders to work from their home, and we were also like in 50% operation from our store. So we used to like shut the shutters, and we used to like run the production in 50 percentage. So they used to like take turns and come work for us. So that was the time when we focused a lot. Until then, like we were not much into online marketing. So that's when like we launched a website, and we started pulling in orders through website orders. So in that way, like we were able to tackle the COVID situation as such. And that was the another that was also the time when we came up with a concept called as a 1 week delivery to all the brides, because during that time I still remember so many weddings that got cancelled, and there were like so many weddings that started happening in a even in a week's time. So that's when we decided like we come up with a delivery deadline much lesser, or like that is in par with the weddings that's getting fixed. So those were two things that helped us sustain through these difficult situations. So whatever crisis that we might face, I think like you should be in par, or like you should be able to like come up with concepts and ideas that would keep pushing your business forward. And let me look into Nabeen's. How can both men and women in leadership positions contribute? So when it comes to women and men being in the same position, I think like it's more of like I don't think so. They should have a point where they look at gender as such. At the end of the day, we are all like working towards a same entrepreneurship. I mean, towards the same company or towards one same goal. So it's just like working with your fellow team member as such, rather than looking at it as a male and a female gender. So if people start looking at it at that angle or that perspective, I feel like they would be able to achieve what they are trying to. And another key point is, as I said, women are like great with handling situations as such. And women and men as such, they're like really strong in getting into the market, and um, they are like physically strong. So they can look at the positive and minus of each of them, and if they like try to focus or target on their plus and work, I feel like they should be able to succeed in what they're trying to. What role does societal perception and cultural norms? So I already spoke about this when it comes to like the societal perceptions. As I said, like for women, it is they do impose a strong challenge. The main thing, and I feel like the first and the foremost thing is the family life and the work-life balance. I think like I pretty much spoke about that earlier. As a woman entrepreneur, have you faced any problem among team? How do you maintain your teammates with full uh, coordination? Mm, any business for that matter, be it like women or men, when it's any given day more than one single person, obviously there needs to be some sort of like understanding and mutual concern that you have for each other. Yeah, entrepreneurship as such, we would face challenges each and every single day. So the main problem that we face is like managing the manpower. As I said, we have like both skilled and unskilled labors. So when it comes to deadlines or like a lot of labors, they tend to take breaks without even like letting us know, and we would be having deadlines. So what I did is like I made few changes to tackle these situations. So I gave them certain incentives and perks when it comes to like coming to work as such on a regular basis, or like intimating us in prior. So that way I was able to like control the number of uh, leaves that they take in general. And apart from that, when we generally forecast the deliveries as such or like deadlines as such, I always plan keeping the buffer at least some 30 to 40 percentage ahead. So it's all about like how we schedule and plan things. So if you're able to like work on that particular aspect, then we should be able to control most of the issues. Mm.
And thank you very much for having patiently answering all of the queries. You were talking about your academy, and you handle only physical courses, I believe. Do you handle even online?
We do have online, ma'am. We do have online. We have weekend and also the regular courses.
And if possible, please send on the details to us. And
Yes,
we
ma'am.
will be able to pass it on to our own younger generation students who are interested in fabrics, fashion designing, and other things.
Definitely,
Our students are highly interested. Our team members, we are into academics, but then we have people who are passionate enough to do this fashion.
Yes,
Probably, if you meet us in person, you will get to know that.
so that's
Even
the main point in starting this, because like there were like a lot of women entrepreneurs who come from my industry. I was really surprised like when we launched this, because there were like a lot of entrepreneurs who have been in the industry for the past
Hello, ma'am.
eight.
Doubt. Hello, hello.
And
I mean, yes,
yes, Naveen.
let Madam finish. Just a minute.
yes, ma'am. So I was like really surprised when they wanted to like enroll for the boutique management course. And the one thing that I questioned them was like, what did they really do in the past 7, 8 years, which they want to like start or get trained from the scratch as such. So that's when I realized a lot of people like they take our industry for granted. They feel like with a prior knowledge is certainly not needed. Just the passion or like the namesake of doing business is enough for them to like venture into the field as such. And only after they get into the field later they realize or understand the difficulties that they face in day to day's career as such. So that was the main reason like we also like curated this boutique management course as such.
And kindly do pass the details to us.
Yes, ma'am.
Share of us our mail IDs. And I think we have taken better use of the resources, Madam, out here. And wholeheartedly thanks to you for all the queries we had given you.
Thank you, ma'am. It's my
Nirmala, we can go for a form and closure.
Yeah, please. As we draw the curtains on this insightful and thought provoking webinar, I'm humbled and grateful to express our sincere gratitude to each one of you. Today, we have navigated a sea of ideas and insights, exploring the questions of whether the prevailing trend is indeed welcoming to women entrepreneurs. This journey of discovery wouldn't have been possible without your active engagement, invaluable contributions, and unwavering support. A special thanks to our chief guest of the day, Jivita Shaktivel, whose experiences and insights have been an invaluable addition to our discussions. Her journey as an entrepreneur offers real world insights that are both inspiring and informative, reminding us of the possibilities that lie ahead. Her presence illuminated our discussions, providing us with a first-hand glimpse into the challenges and triumphs of a visionary women entrepreneur. We also extend our gratitude to the faculty members and organizers who meticulously put this event a grand success. Your effort behind the scenes have been instrumental in creating a platform for meaningful discussions and learning. Thank you so much, ma'am. And we request the participants to open their camera for a snapshot.
Thank you.
And let me take this opportunity to thank our resource person of the day and the participants who have joined on time and people who have shown doubts clarified. And it's really good that you've made the session interactive. And my appreciation to the staff members who have made this program really successful in a very, very short notice. My wholehearted thanks to the speaker, Mrs. Jivita, as well as to my own team members and students. Please open up your camera for a shoot.
Thank you, ma'am. It was lovely talking to you, and I hope I was able to inspire young minds, and I hope to see them thriving and doing better in their career.
Yeah, we'll get back to you, ma'am, if students come to us. Will you please pass on your academy information?
Yes, ma'am.
Surprisingly, you can find even staff members showing their interest in it.
Sure, ma'am. I'm more interested in doing things.
I'll just type in the contact number so
Yeah, please.
they can reach the academy number directly.
It's only the staff members who have opened up the camera. I don't find anybody who is opening up. Guys, please open up your camera so that we can have a shoot. Yes. I could find all first years. Nimla, are you done with?
Yes, yes, yes. Thank you. And the feedback link is shared in the chat box. We request the participants to kindly put your feedback over there. Thank you.
Thank you, madam. Thank you very much. We'll come back to you. Thank you. Nimla, you're online?
I'm here.
Guys, thank you for joining. We'll see you all in person on 5th, Nimla. Is it 5th?
4th September.
4th September. Kindly bring your parents, first years. It will be an opportunity for us to meet your parents too. And final years, as usual, very good. You have not opened up your camera. Thank you very much. We'll meet you all in person.
Thank you,
And
ma'am.
I think,
Thank you, ma'am.
yeah. Thank you. It's Srijit, be online.
Thank
All
you,
the
ma'am.
second years, please be online. And first years, I think you can sign off.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
Finally,
Thank
you,
you.
Pa. Final years, please be online. And first years, you can sign off. Shalini, you're online? Is Shalini here? Krishna, Ravi Shankar, Kannan, Mohanashri Yadav, Lokeshwaran, Sandana Krishnan, Asna, Srijit Gokul, Sharan, Arun Prabhakar. Hello, Karthik. Ayyanar, Likit. Nimla, have you spoken to your students, mentees? related to Learnathan?
Yes, Sudha.
Have they all updated the Google Sheet? Guys, I think I have forwarded a link, the one what we received from the NPTEL spoke. And that link, I think it has got super good links of so many courses for, digital upgradation. And that is part of the NPTEL soft skill training. That is the one what we have registered yesterday or the day before. If I'm not wrong, it is getting started on 30th. Can anybody confirm, students? Is it starting on 30th?
Yes.
Guys, are you all inside? Can anybody open your mic and talk? Is it on 30th? They பேசுங்கடா.
Yes,
Good
ma'am.
evening.
Good evening. Not the first years. First யாரு பேசுனது இப்போ? Is it first year?
First year, ma'am.
First year, I think you can sign off. This is for, we will give you information after you have come here.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Teachers, you can leave the meet.
Okay. Ayyanar or Ravi Shankar, can anybody respond?